Why am I excited? It's moose camp time. That's right, we're back up in Northwest Ontario. We came back to Excellent Adventures again this year. We're on a different lake though. We're on McCoy Lake this time. It's a big lake. My good friend Boyd didn't make this trip. He usually guides me. He's been on the last couple of trips with me, but he sent a buddy of his. Brian came along, he's gonna guide us, and he brought reinforcements, thankfully, because we had to set up base camp. He brought his brother, a couple of buddies. We actually got another hunter in camp too, which is just fine because he's gonna be on one side of the lake, we're gonna be on the other, and there's a lot of moose in this area. They haven't hunted this lake for 8 years. I'm super pumped, I can't wait for day one. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can close the deal on a big moose.
The Ontario experience is the next best thing to going on the adventure yourself. And who knows, this unique show just might give you some ideas for your next fishing or hunting trip.
Hi, my name's Brian Detman. I'm a guide here this year for Excellent Adventures. Been doing this for a while with other outfits and doing some moose guiding, turkey guiding. Just love getting involved, getting in the outdoors. Being able to give somebody the experience that I've fortunately been able to have, that I've been hunting for essentially all my life, standing with my dad as just a little guy. And very fortunate to be able to have this opportunity. So when you're going in to set up on a hunt like this, what I like to do is go in. Sometimes it's inevitable you're going to make noise with an aluminum boat or whatever, even walking in or whatever. I like to sit for a while and let it sit for at least 20 minutes, let everything calm down, be quiet, and then that's when I'll start my first series of calls. When you do your first series of calls, that's when you're going to base what you're going to do next. Because obviously if you get a response, then you're going to have to judge what kind of response you're going to give back. You have to try and know your audience, because if that's a smaller bull, we're not going to get aggressive and try and draw them in that way. We'll just continue with the cow. However, a bigger bull might be a little bit more reluctant and he wants to try and get around and wind you. So in order to try and stop him from doing that and stop him from thinking, sometimes you have to get aggressive and get the paddles going and breaking branches and throwing out a series of bull grunts.
As soon as I got on the plane, my heart rate started getting a little faster and faster. I could feel that adrenaline starting to pump. And that's what happens when you go on these big game hunts. And it's even more so when it comes to moose. I mean, the moose, in my opinion, are the top of the rung for big game hunting. It's so exciting to hunt these things, especially when you get them to communicate back with you and you just get those big bulls to start thrashing. It's just the adrenaline rush. It's just crazy. We actually got out yesterday a little bit and did a little bit of scouting. So we found a few key areas that we're like, wow, this is going to be really, really good. We're heading to #1 spot, the spot that we think that has the most potential. If we don't see much there, we're going to go on to other spots. This lake is pretty massive, and there is a lot of great sign all around the lake, but there's some, like I said, some key spots that are really, really good. The spot we're going to has a creek coming into a back bay. There's pinch points, there's just great browse, there's great pines, you got that moss. It's just ideal moose territory, so that's where we're starting today. We're heading back out for a quick lunch. We were out this morning, did a little scouting, hit a few spots, just checking the lake out. The temperatures this week are in our favor, meaning they're actually heading lower. Lower temps is always good when it comes to moose hunting. Another positive is we're into the second week of moose hunting. I've actually never hunted the second week, so I'm super excited. We're gonna hit the rut perfectly. What does that mean? They're gonna be chasing cows, they're gonna react to 2 calls. So I'm super excited about this trip. Can't wait to get set up again, and hopefully we hear some moose. You know, one of the things we're doing is we have some spots scouted out, but we're always going at a slow pace, glassing the shorelines because these moose are coming to the shoreline. Number one, they need water this time of year, just like any animal, but they're also coming looking for cows. It's just a great way to work the shoreline and work the lake until you get to the spots that you know are real prime, because you just don't know when these moose are going to pop out. They are on the move right now. They are in rut, so they are looking for a mate, and they're covering a lot of ground. So it's just a really good idea to. Brian and I are both glassing. This is just part of the lake system that kind of narrows down, and it's always a good thing to do is just glass until you get to the prime spots that you know that you've checked out and have a lot of confidence in. It's just all part of the hunt.
So we're at an awesome spot. There's actually a creek coming in right here. We're gonna walk back around here, but this is just an awesome spot between the creek and there's a little bit of a bay. You can see right here, there's a beautiful trail, moose trail. And there's another one up there. This is prime area. We're gonna feel good about this spot. Get him to come in. If he does, we're going to be close, real close. Trail coming right along this lake right here. If he decides to come, he's probably going to come down that or through the thick blow down stuff. So. Definitely heard a bull though. Probably about 50, 60 yards back. He's doing some calls. Now he's throwing out a few bull calls.
What a beautiful morning up here in Sunset Country of Ontario, moose hunting. We actually had a bull calling back last night. He called about 5 different times, but I think he might have been hung up with a cow. That's what happens. They want another a cow in their harem, but sometimes it doesn't work. But they call and try to get to the other cow to come, and actually the cow that they're with will pull them away. But heard a scrape of a paddle back in the woods as well, so we know that he was back there. So we're heading back to that same spot. It's that creek that's coming into that little bay. It's just a beautiful area. It's a neck down area, and hopefully this morning is the morning, and it's a beautiful one at that. What's a successful moose hunt? Is it shooting a trophy bull, putting meat on the table, or just simply the adventure itself? I have ventured all across Ontario, and I can say I viewed success by all of the above. On one of my moose hunts, we caught up to a beautiful blonde cow. She responded to a number of cow and bull calls and stepped out onto the shore in a back bay, giving me a perfect opportunity. That hunt put hundreds of pounds of meat on the table for family and friends. Another hunt a few years back, I was in the company of Excellent Adventures guides, and we connected with a giant bull. This bull was stubborn, skirting the shore's edge for what seemed like eternity, thrashing brush and tearing up trees, when finally he stepped out into an opening, giving me a perfect broadside shot. This hunt was truly a bucket list adventure that's not soon to be forgotten, as the rack resides in my entryway, allowing me to reminisce that experience over and over. Well, I'm waiting on the plane to come pick us up. Unfortunately, I still got my moose tag in my pocket. So if anybody out there has a good moose tag soup out there, send the recipe along. You know, we still had an outstanding trip regardless of the moose not showing up. We were calling, they were responding to our calls. Unfortunately, you cannot predict the weather. We had 70 degrees most of the week. We did have a little dip down, cool down, but it wasn't enough to get them on their feet. What happens, they move during the night and they basically bed down during the day. You know what? It doesn't matter. It was a lot of fun. Great camaraderie. The guys in camp were outstanding. I would have a sore side from laughing for a long time. You know, Brian and Rob and Matt and Spencer were just a ton of fun, and they were outstanding guides and cook staff. I mean, they were waiting on us hand and foot. It was probably the best service an outpost camp could ever have. And I'm going to get together with these guys in the future. You know, we make friends on the road when we come to these things. And I guarantee we're going to get together and do some hunting and fishing with these guys down the road. Ontario has some of the best moose hunting anywhere, and Excellent Adventures is top shelf. You know, 3 years ago I shot just a giant moose, and when we were out in the woods hunting this week, all those memories kept coming back. That big bull thrashing back in the woods, he came out and gave me an awesome shot. You know, that's why you come back, but it also proves that memories definitely outlast the meat in the freezer. I look back at each and every Ontario moose hunt I have been on with the fondest of memories, wanting to return for those adventures and experiences. They are like no other. This hunt I was on with Excellent Adventures back in 2019 is one of those experiences not soon to be forgotten. We flew out of Cat Island Lodge yesterday. Now it's time to start part 2 of the Ontario experience. We are on a moose hunt. Can you believe it? A moose hunt. I'm so pumped for this trip. I can't wait to get this started. We got our guides down by the boat waiting for us to take us out on our first day. So I'm up with Boyd and Luke last night, just getting set up, heading out for the first hunt. Boyd's gonna take me out. We're gonna try to find a moose today. If not, Luke's gonna stay back, set up a few things. We're all gonna go out tomorrow. Hopefully we hook up with a moose. So just heading out, Boyd and I heading out our first day. So, boy, what's our plan right now? We're gonna go just do some scouting. We're gonna go set up and call. What do you think our first
We've already
option?
been out and had a bit of a look around. We found a few trails.
Okay.
We're gonna probably set up a call and see if we can't get one to come at us right away.
Okay, sounds great. Well, we're off. I tell you what, when you're talking about moose hunting, your adrenaline is going the whole time you're out there. It's been my absolute dream to put a moose down. It seems like it doesn't matter when it comes to moose. It never comes off your bucket list. This isn't the first moose hunt I've ever done. It seems like you turn that page to the calendar, that moose is still on that bucket list every year. So hopefully I make it happen this year. It's an exciting hunt. Big game is awesome, but moose is, in my opinion, the ultimate of big game.
So just a minute ago, I was talking about how woozy this looks. Not 20 feet into the woods, there's moose tracks coming right along this edge. The salt marshy back here. You have lake here. It's just totally ideal for what we're looking for. It's exactly what we're looking for. So.
A day of scouting and calling under our belt, and we were ready for dinner. Some rest and more hunting the following day. We got here a couple days ago. The boys have been out searching before we got in. I think you guys saw some activity as well, right?
We pulled into a bay and there's a cow and a calf down in there. I tried to sneak around them, and that's where we set up when we heard the bull grunts the next morning, so we're gonna go back and give that a go again.
Yep, we set up. We heard some activity. We actually called out. We had some calling back. We had some moose talking to us, so we tried a few other spots. We did some searching, some scouting. That seemed to be the best spot right now. We're going back to spot one. Looks like a lot of promise, right?
It is, there's tracks everywhere, but I mean, the truth is, there isn't a bad spot. We just need to find the right spot with the bull there right now.
Yes! Oh yeah! Oh yes! He is a big bull!
I'm coming for a man
That's a
hug, buddy.
big bull!
Man hug.
Big bull!
Awesome, man.
First moose of my life!
I hope you brought your knife.
I did! Yes!
That's awesome, buddy.
Okay, that is so awesome!
Good job, guys.
There it is! Dude, it's right there! Oh my gosh, look at the size of that thing. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this thing. You guys get in here and look at this animal. It's a beast! Whoa! But I tell you what, when you're talking about moose, there is no shrinkage. I took about a 225-yard shot to here.
You can see the islands right there. It's a perfect shot and
Oh
jump.
man, this is an adrenaline rush. When you're talking about big moose hunting, obviously it's Excellent Adventures. The proof is right here. And when it comes to Excellent Adventures, you're talking about some of the best guides around for guides. You got Luke and Boyd. These guys know how to call. You saw this stuff on the footage. It's crazy. This moose was back in the woods. These guys called this moose back out. He was pissed. Gave me a great shot.
Yep.
You know what? Again, Excellent Adventures is a place to call, but this is what you call an ultimate Ontario experience.
In my opinion, every moose hunt you go on in Ontario is a success. It will not only be a hunt of a lifetime, but also a trip full of memories.